the Timex tick. I should probably put my hat on. All right, hat's on. Watches on. So I want to talk about this guy, the MK1. I like this watch, man. This watch will put me to sleep if I lay it next to my bedside table at night, and it'll tick, 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 tick. Love it, love it. It's a different experience than, let's say, an automatic. You guys know from owning, and I'm sure y'all are watch guys, but owning Quartz watches and owning automatic watches. When you put an automatic watch on, there's something about that watch that makes it feel alive. It makes it feel different. There's a very distinctive feel. You can have a watch that's a Quartz and a watch that's an automatic, and that automatic watch is like, I don't know, it makes you feel good. Well, this is a Quartz watch that gives you that feel good. And I think that feel good comes from that loud tick. You can have multiple watches in your watch case that they could all be Quartz. You've got one really loud tick in there and you're wondering, what is that? What watch is so loud? It's Timex. Their tick is so loud. You can hear it, literally hear the tick from across the room. So you get a different experience with it because you're laying there, you're sitting there at night, cuddled up with your wife, and you hear tick, tick, tick. And they'll ask, what's that tick? Oh, that's your watch. I mean, it sounds like my clock that's on the wall upstairs in my house. It's like a grandfather clock. It's not a grandfather clock, but it's like that. And you can hear it ticking. And I like that sound. If I'm sitting in that room reading a book or something, I can hear that tick. And it makes me kind of wind down. Well, that's kind of what Timex's tick does. So the benefit of this watch, I think, where it has to go, where you have to feel with that watch, you have a $55 watch, okay? It's not an expensive watch. It's not going to be this masterpiece of a mechanical movement that you're just going to awe of all the time. It's going to be a watch that when you go mow, or you wash dishes, or you do laundry. Wait a second. I don't wash dishes, do laundry. When I mow, when I work on the car, when I shoot my gun at the range, whenever you do all this stuff with it, you don't care. You don't care what's going to happen to the watch. It's going to get beat up. It's going to get slung on the table. It's going to get thrown in the bag whenever you're at the gun range if you take it off and try to time stuff. There's things that it's not going to bother you to have this watch on your wrist. When I have my when I have my automatic watches on my wrist, I go to the gun range, I legitimately take the watch off, put it in my pocket, because I think that the repercussion of my 50 cal rifle, the repercussion of some of my guns and stuff might actually knock the automatic movement off. And I've never had one do that, but I always have that fear in my head that, yeah, maybe that'll happen. This watch, you don't care. It's not gonna hurt it. You can beat it, throw it, dog can take it and run it off in the middle of the house somewhere, and you're chasing them. Hey, give him a damn watch back. So this watch has a feeling to it, unlike most Quartz watches. The second thing that it has is it has a Indiglo LED, basically, or an Indiglo movement, or Indiglo, how do I say that? An Indiglo light, basically, that when you push the crown, the Indiglo light lights the entire face of the watch up. So if it's at night, if it's pitch black, you just push the crown and you can see the entire watch. So that's also a neat feature that none of my automatic watches have. So just those two things make this watch worth that $55 mark. So you can feel with your watch, instead of just sticking a watch on your wrist and going, there's some kind of different feeling that this watch has. So somebody that's looking to buy a watch like this is either in a very, very tight budget, and just wants a cheap watch to look cool, or B, just wants something to beat around, or just likes the look of it, or likes the history of it. When I talk about the history, this little guy here, and I'm gonna put some videos and pictures in the video here so you can see it. But this is the watch that basically was designed off of. This watch was built in the 80s. I think it was built for the military. It was basically issued to them, and when it's done, you just throw it away. It's the throwaway watch. It was built, I think, 82, 83, somewhere in there. And it was just a wear it, chunk it, done. Doesn't supposed to last. This little guy is 30 years old, if not a little more than that. I'm telling my age. Anyway, it's 30 years old, and this thing's still ticking. It's still ticking away. Haven't had any problems with it. It's a manual wind, and I've never had it serviced. It's probably 25-30 seconds a day fast, so it doesn't keep great time or anything like that. But geez, you can buy some of these watches now that's probably like that, some cheap movements. But this watch was literally probably 20 bucks, maybe not even 20 bucks back then. It might have been 10 bucks back then, I don't know. But this is a pretty neat watch, and it really this watch draws its heritage from this watch. Also, Timex is, they've had a good movement. It's just a movement that just goes. It just works, it just goes. It is what it is. This watch has an aluminum case. It's not a steel case, but you can get it in a steel case. I think it's probably $30-$40 more, but it is what it is. You've got this really nice crystal on it. You've got a 39mm case. You've got a 47 lug to lug, and you've got a 20 lug strap. So it's perfect specifications. It's comfortable. You can see it on my wrist here. I've got a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and I'll flip the camera around and give some wrist shots too before I send the photos. But it's a great watch, guys. If you're thinking about it, if you're clicking on videos, trying to do some research about it, hey, just do some research on the history of Timex, and it gives a whole entire background to this watch. And literally, guys, it's a $55 watch. Don't think too hard about it. You won't be disappointed in this watch. I think you'll actually be a little more impressed than you think. You might just grab a tube of poly watch if you don't already have one, because if you nick the crystal, take that poly watch, wax it right off, and you're done with any nicks or scratches. So don't be alarmed that it's not a sapphire crystal. So guys, I'm going to shoot you some videos. I'm going to shoot you some pictures, and you can see this watch working, and you can see this watch next to a couple other ones, the 35mm counterpart that was in the 80s, and then also I'm going to put a Expedition, which it's another cheap watch, probably $50-$60 watch that you can buy at Walmart. It has it's got about the same features as this watch. It just has a flat crystal instead of this domed. This MK1, this dome on this MK1 is really what this watch is all about. That really domed crystal is what makes this watch special, I think, and the tick and the Indiglo. So if you like this video, click like at the end, and hopefully you liked it. Thanks. Bye.